Hi everyone, welcome to March 2025 intuitive card reading. I cannot wait to do this reading, guys. Okay, you guys know the drill. Please like this video. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies and messages for the week. This is for the collective. What else? Comments down below. And all I ask is you guys be kind. And I think that's it. Same 4 decks as the last week of February into March. And all shuffled, of course, in different order, though. Okay, guys, let's just jump right into it because I'm excited. I'll tell you that. All right, what do we need, guys? Flexible. Okay, so we need to be flexible in March. We need to be adaptable. We need to roll with the punches. Okay, so this already makes me feel like we might be having a lot of changes or things that aren't necessarily going our way, and that's okay. Just be flexible, be adaptable. Again, roll with the punches. All right, what do we need? Action needed. Freedom, yes. Okay, so we need to take action on our freedom. Interesting. This one, sorry guys, I don't mean to be in frame if I am. These cards need to be flattened out. Okay, so we need to take action on our freedom. Guys, this could be something like we need to, could have something to do with, how do I say this? So I know I've got Americans out there watching this, and we really need to, like, basically, this reminds me of, like, taking action to make sure we stay free, okay? So this might have something to do with being active in your community, okay? But it could also mean anything that you can do to ensure your own freedom, okay? So we might be having to take actions to free ourselves. So what does this mean, guys? God, let me think of an example. A personal example. I gave you like a global kind of, well, not global, a national example, on a larger scale, but maybe personally this could mean you're on probation for something with the law, right? But you have to get your paperwork in you've done all of your community service hours and you're ready to be free or something like that. Like you're kind of like, free of that obligation of your probation or something. So you have to get all your paperwork in this month or whatever. And you do, and then you have more freedom to do more things. You don't necessarily have somebody breathing down your neck, like that kind of thing. Sorry guys, it's off the top of my head, these examples, but this could be what it is, because there's something that you need to take action on, something to become more free, have more freedom of more options and more choices in your life. So there's something that needs to be done. So don't forget that paperwork, basically, is what Spirit is trying to say here. All right, what issues do we have? Gossip, but this is in the light. Awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Okay, sorry guys. New York City, ambulance is outside. Hopefully you can still hear me. This is basically saying it's the opposite of gossip, right? It's basically saying that we're speaking to each other in a way of that we honor each other, that we consider each other, we communicate well, okay? And so the fact that it's coming under issues is we might have issues with that, okay? Or we might have issues with gossip, okay? We might have issues with other people gossiping about us. I don't like this, okay? I don't like this energy. It doesn't feel great, but it doesn't feel major, okay? So you might have an issue with somebody, maybe like you hear a rumor about yourself or something like that. What I can say to you guys in the energy that's coming through here is don't put so much of your own energy towards that, right? It feels very minor. So if you feel like people are talking about you behind your back, if they're gossiping about you or something along those lines, the best course of action you can do is just move forward and just focus on you. Focus on your freedom. Don't be petty. Don't seek revenge. It doesn't feel like this is a big deal. Like, it's like Spirit is saying, like, it's not that big of a deal, but it might bother you. Obviously, you're only human. Spirit is not trying to tell you how to feel about it. But if a situation like this does come up, make sure you're doing your best to ignore it and move on. Find your own peace about it. Challenge. See from a higher perspective. Okay, so we're having a hard time seeing things from a bigger perspective, meaning like we might be having issues with seeing things from a larger, like seeing the bigger picture, right? And this might have something to do with maybe things happening and you're like, how does this fit into the overall bigger picture of what I envision my life to be? So you're just having issues in that way. And again, it feels kind of minor, but everything always connects the dots eventually. Everything always makes sense eventually. It might not this month, is basically what Spirit is saying. So hold on to that. Don't try to figure everything out. Be flexible, right? Don't try to analyze things so much. It's great to reflect. It's great to be introspective, but it just feels like you won't know the answers. You won't have all the answers this month, and you won't necessarily see the bigger picture of how your life is going to be put together, how things fit together this month. And that's okay, but it might be challenging. It might be frustrating for you for sure. All right, what do we have under change? We have imagine. Okay, so speaking of looking at the bigger picture, imagine is always about visualizing how you want things to be. So I think it's very interesting that they're together, because this basically it's saying it's changing. I love these together because basically it's saying, okay, you're now able to envision your life, plan out your life a little bit more, which is great, because I know we've been getting a lot of change cards lately, and definitely in that last week of February going into March. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that, go over and check out the weekly. But basically it was saying something about the things are changing in the way of stability, right? And so now you can plan ahead more. So I love that. Okay, so now that you can, but you don't have to have all the answers. It's basically what Eagle is saying, because we're having an issue with that. We're kind of having an issue seeing the bigger picture. Maybe focus more so on smaller goals, right? Be flexible, obviously, but focus maybe on smaller things, like what you want your everyday day to look like, not necessarily the overall bigger picture goal, because you might be having trouble with that. Focus more on how you want your everyday life to be, what you want to be doing every day, not necessarily where you want to be in 10 years, if that makes sense. And I mean, if you're clear on that, that's great. I know I'm reading for the collective, but don't beat yourself up if you're not. Okay, what do we have? Focus, destiny. Ooh, I love this. Even though I don't love the word, because I know we have free will, so destiny kind of feels like, feels like we have no control over something, but we actually do have more choices than we think. But I love these very powerful cards that we're getting, the freedom, the destiny. So basically it's saying focus on what you actually, if you did have a destiny, if you feel like there is a North Star in your life, or if you do feel like there's something that you really truly desire to do, that you're destined to do, focus on that. I mean, I don't think there's much more to say here, but it feels very powerful, and it feels very soul oriented. I think I just made up a phrase, but it feels like it is, it's not what your ego wants. It just feels like you have a bigger calling, and you want to focus now on that bigger calling. And I love that, right? And so I love that, because this is saying we might have issues with the bigger picture, but at least you know what the calling is, right? So maybe you have, maybe your bigger calling is helping people with addictions, right? But how does that feel, how does that play into the bigger picture of how you want your life to live? Maybe you can't see that right now, and that's okay, but focus on what the actual thing is, okay? Don't lose sight of that North Star. Don't lose sight of that. Just keep moving towards that, is what Spirit is saying. I love that. It's very, very powerful energy right there. Okay, what do we need to reflect on? We have King upside down, excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Okay, so reflect on anyone or yourself that could be, feelings of entitlement. Anybody that feels like they are reigning over you, controlling you. It's very interesting that is coming up here, because if you guys remember, I think it was from January. Could be December, but I think it was January. We got a lot of control cards. We got a lot of cards of us controlling other people, trying to control outcomes, trying to control people, trying to control the universe. Guys, we know that doesn't work by now. Okay, the universe doesn't control us. We work with the universe. It's a partnership. We work with, I just mentioned, we create our own reality. But some things are quote unquote destined, right? So we need to work with the energy, okay? And basically it's saying, like, anybody that is acts like they're entitled around you, or entitled to you, to your energy, feeling like they can boss you around, feeling like you have to do what they tell you to do. No, this is not great energy right here. But this is reflecting on that type of king archetype. Maybe it's you, but maybe it's somebody in your life that maybe you just cut free, because I'll tell you, the last couple of times I haven't seen any cards or felt any energy that related to controlling. So, controlling type energy. So maybe we cut that shit out. I don't know if I could say that word, but we cut the crap out, and we kind of stopped, we kind of stopped that behavior, right? Or maybe we just cut off and put boundaries up on somebody that is doing that to us. Okay. So, or we left the job where we felt like, somebody was, it was your boss, it was the person, it was your manager, that was doing that to you. So it's really reflecting on whatever happened there in that area of control over the last couple of months, or your relationship to control, or your relationship to entitlement, which is interesting. It's funny that comes up because I've been thinking about that a little bit lately. I won't give you my example. I won't make the, I always weave some of my own life in here, but I won't go too much into that. But I think a lot of us can't, there's I'm not going to lie, there's a little shadow work here, right? So we got to look at our flaws. We got to look at, how we are contributing to our own suffering is a good way to put it. So that's an interesting one to get there. Okay. Responsibilities, connect with your emotions. Okay. I mean, couldn't be any clearer, could it? Please make sure we're feeling all of our emotions. I know in the last weekly we got, going into March, the last week of February, a few days into March, we got some depression type energy. Listen, whether it's depression, whether it's joy, whether it's love, whether it's entitlement, whether it's jealousy, whatever it is, connect with all of the emotions. Okay, that's your responsibility. None of them are bad. None of them are good. They're just emotions. They're just feelings. That's it. So definitely connect with them. Make sure you feel all the feels. Do not shut down. It's time to, feel everything, basically, is what Spirit is saying. So depending how you look at it, for me, I'm a feeling type person. I see this, cathartic, but, depending on how you look at it, it's all about perspective. Okay, money, finances, and career. We got not for you. Ooh, interesting for that to come up here, because basically it's saying, this isn't for you. So if anybody's starting a new job, if anybody is starting like a new way of investing maybe, or investing in something, or, trying to play the stock market, starting to, trying to buy lottery tickets every day, gambling, whatever, again, this is for the collective, so it could be so many different things for so many different people, but whatever you started doing recently and it doesn't feel good, use your intuition, when it doesn't. Listen to your soul. I mentioned the word soul-oriented. Listen to your soul. Listen to, what is the voice of your soul, guys? Intuition. Listen to your intuition. If something is not for you, it is not for you. Okay? So if something does not sound good to you, somebody reaches out to you about a job and it does not feel good to you, it is not for you. Okay? So watch that in money, finances, and career. Okay? So something is not for you, and we need to admit it this month. Okay? We need to admit it to ourselves that it's not for us, because I definitely do feel a resistance here where we're saying, I don't want to admit this to myself, okay? But we have to admit it to ourselves, okay? And that, I love that it's next to the Water Guardian, because basically it's saying, you got to feel everything. You got to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling about certain things, okay? And that includes money, finances, and career. So, interesting is all I have to say there. Okay. Surprise. What do we have? Guardianship. Okay, so this is about looking out for somebody, making sure they're okay. Sometimes I feel like a parental relationship with here. So surprise, it is, you might be looking after something that you weren't expecting. You might have more responsibility maybe than you were expecting. It doesn't feel good, doesn't feel bad, just feels neutral. Okay, so something's kind of going on here. You have extra responsibility with something. I love that it's coming off the 6, because 6 means responsibility as well. It's linked to that at least. So it could have something to do with like if you're a parent, something with your child, you have to do like an extra responsibility for them that you didn't necessarily plan for. And could be reversed, right? Looking after aging parents or something, that you have an extra, duty or something to do this month regarding them. And could be pets too, right, guys? So something could happen with pets that you need to be extra protective of, or like the way that I look at it is like an example would be like if your child goes like on a camping trip. I don't know who's camping in March, but this is just an example. And a camping trip overnight, like 3 hours away, and they call you, and they're not having a great time, and they're scared, and they want to come home, and then you have to drive the extra. You weren't planning on it that weekend, but surprise, you're getting in the car. You have to, on a Saturday night, go drive up there 3 hours to go get them. Okay, so it's almost like saying like you have an extra duty, right? Something kind of comes out of the blue because it's under surprise, where you're responsible, obviously, for your child and that kind of thing. So it definitely does feel like there's a surprise element somewhere in this month regarding again something where it could be like a parent-child type relationship. Okay, friends. Messiah, so serving humanity with humility. Okay, so this is really about. Okay, so this is about doing something for a cause, but knowing that it's not just you that makes the difference, it's the teamwork that makes the difference. Okay, so the fact that it's under friends is saying like it is the dynamic of the group that holds the glue together, not just you. So this could be like something here with dynamic, like how do I say this? Like you could be realizing that you guys work better together as like a team. It might work better. Maybe it has something to do with the gossip card. I don't know. Just throwing things out there, just, trying to put together the pieces. But maybe, in the friend group, people have been gossiping about each other, but you're learning that, you guys work together better as a team when everybody has open communication, right? It's everybody together. Nobody is, there's no I in team, okay? If I had a phrase for an energy, it would be that, right? There is no I in team. So something where you can accomplish things together and you work better together, and it's not like you're the only one pulling your weight anymore, right? It's like something, this is an odd one, but something where you guys are realizing that working together, being on the same page is so much better for the group dynamic than, any kind of autonomous type behavior is the best way I can put that. Very interesting. Guys, again, comment down below if this makes sense to you, right? If you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I know exactly what she's saying here, please put it down below, because I'm just reading these energies. I don't know, I can't apply this to my own life right now. I'm trying to think. I don't think so, but I mean, we'll see in March, but very interesting energy. So again, I would love to see how it resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, that's fine too, but I would love to see how it does. Okay, romantic connection. We have shapeshifter, transform, and unveil your gifts. I'm not shocked by this because we have the flexible energy and it's under romantic connection. So basically it's saying be able to pivot, be able to, on a moment's notice, be flexible, be adaptable, right? That's really what shapeshifter is, and that's, and we need to do that. So obviously it could translate to our romantic connections for sure. So basically it's saying, just be flexible when it comes to a romantic relationship. It doesn't mean be too agreeable, be anybody your partner wants. It doesn't mean that. It means be flexible if something happens. If your spouse loses their job, or their significant other has to cancel on the trip that you guys had planned. Something here where we need to really think on our feet and make sure that we are flexible and adaptable, and we can we can accommodate or compromise within our romantic partnerships for sure. Okay, what's important, guys? Building blocks. Okay, so it's important to know that you can build things. What do I mean by that? Is that you can create things, you can start things. So there's a little bit of a creative energy here. And it's important to know that you, like, I'm getting this energy of like, you have everything you need. You can start now. You have the ability, you have the strength, you have, like, you may have, in this is basically saying, like, you may in the past felt like you couldn't do it, or you can't do it, or it's not the right timing. This is different here. This is basically saying if there's something that you wanted to start, you can actually start it. Okay, I love this. It could particularly mean a business, so my entrepreneurs out there, this goes well with the not for you card, because, you know, if you're working a job that you don't like and you're saying, wait, this isn't for me, maybe I should start my own thing, that's a good pairing. These two energies together are a good pairing. This could also mean a creative project, okay, a hobby of some kind. So if you've been thinking about wanting to do a hobby and maybe you haven't had time, or, you know, you haven't had the money, it's saying that you can start that now. So it's important to know that. That's great. I love that. Okay, health and wellness. We have sisterhood. Okay, guys, we have another card of working together. Okay, of being a team, of being a sisterhood, a brotherhood, you know, it doesn't matter, which one it is, but basically it's saying a community, okay? Kind of like what I was saying with friends here. So health and wellness is basically saying things are better with like-minded people, with a community. So this fares well this month for maybe doing group therapy, maybe finding a Facebook group of spiritual people, maybe finding a circle in your area, of people that have, go on Meetup and find like-minded people, or something like that. Like it definitely does feel like, wow, this is very interesting. So I do want to bring in my stuff for a second. I've been thinking about doing this. I want to do this nervous system reset program. Not only because of the actual curriculum of the program, is because I know I'm going to find like-minded people going through the exact thing that I'm going through, which is nervous system issues, nerve damage, that kind of thing. And so that's very interesting. I thought it would, I'm trying to figure out, as I'm healing, like, when's the best time to do it. This almost signals maybe March. So I find that very interesting. Maybe. It almost feels hard to believe right now, but I take things day by day, because that's what I have to do with the situation I'm in. So interesting. I will keep an eye on this for myself, and remember this for sure. So, and again, guys, put down below if it resonates with you during the month of March, or how it resonates with you, rather. Okay, overall outcome, we have angel, but we have it in shadow, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Okay, so basically this is saying, so a little bit ending with shadow work. I mentioned it here with the King card, that we might be having to look at our own flaws, or look at how we might be contributing to our own suffering, okay? There's a little bit with the reflect card, and the fact that it came over overall outcome makes me feel like we are going to be, there's going to be maybe like a theme of overall reflecting on how we might have been a contributor to our own suffering in some way, shape, or form, or in a way that we take accountability for something that maybe we haven't before. But it definitely does feel like there's an accountability piece here that might be presenting itself, where we finally accept that part of ourselves, or accept our role in something. Could have something to do with this and the friend group, right? Could have something to do with that. Could have something to do with that gossip card up there, potentially. So a lot of these things could connect, but we have to admit something about ourselves. We have to take accountability for something, take personal responsibility for something. So again, this is definitely going to vary by person to person, but again, would love to know how it resonates with you down below. So that's very interesting energy to end off with, but I'm liking March. I was kind of hoping for more new beginning cards. I do like that we have a not for you, because that's technically kind of like an ending, or admitting to ourselves what doesn't work for us doesn't serve us anymore. I do like that, but I actually thought it was going to be a little bit more new beginnings, but maybe April, we'll see. And I hope I see you guys for the April monthly, but I hope you enjoyed the March monthly. 2025, another month in the books. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful month. And I will see you for the next readings. Bye, guys.